So I'm going to show you guys how I took this light apart. In the upcoming video, I did say that I didn't think it mattered in which order, whether you took the back off first or the lens. But I think I will tell you, I would recommend doing the back first and checking the transformer. And if the transformer is actually bad, like it is in my case, I don't know that I would take the whole lens and everything apart, because the wires here, you could likely cut these, let's see if I can get them up, and splice them here with some waterproof solder connectors, and then never have to disassemble the actual lens part, because like I say, that's the hard part. In my case, you know, they're soldered here. I've already got it disassembled, so I'm going to go ahead and resolder the new ones. But I was thinking maybe this was a plug and you had to take the lens off to get to the plug, but it's not, it's soldered. So if you want to take the lens off and solder, certainly you can do that. It's a bit more work and you do risk the chance of breaking the lens. So just letting you know, another route, if it is a transformer, is you could splice these wires here and do a waterproof connection and then probably shove them back in the housing. So just something to consider. Okay, if you happen to have one of these high dollar green light LED IP65 machines from Green Light Underwater, they have a warranty if your original purchase, but I'm not the original owner. I bought a house that had one of these on, and it's probably less than 2 years old, and transformer's bad. So it's swollen up big. You can see it in person. But if you have one that's not working, first thing I'd say is soak all the bolts in PB Blaster. So these are the clips that are on the front lens. Spray PB Blaster in here or equivalent and soak them. This is the back housing. Goes over here, and each of these little screws fasten in. You can see these from the side. Make sure you spray PB Blaster on all those, because if you're in salt water like I am, then that stuff tends to salt up and it's very difficult to undo. So I would take this back off first, just to check the transformer. You don't have to in either order, but this is where the transformer is. There's two small bolts that go right here that hold it in place. Now for the lens, so the lens is in here. I haven't actually got this out yet, but I wanted to show you on these clips. After you soak these clips, they obviously, you know, go on here and hold this on like this. And you need an Allen wrench to get these off. So the Allen wrench, obviously, sorry for my recording, I'm no pro here. Allen wrench goes in the Allen head, and you're going to want to take a pair of channel locks and hold this clip like this whenever you turn this Allen wrench. Now this thing is really tight, and so you're going to have to hold that clip with these pliers, because you don't want to put all the force on this aluminum and maybe break that lens. And I'll tell you what I had to do. I had to actually use a crescent wrench and use the hole in the end of the wrench through the hex key to actually turn it and actually get these to turn, because they were tight, and that was even after soaking them. But just be careful and don't break the lens. So I've got this thing apart. I know that the transformer's bad. The next thing for me is the wiring. So the wiring goes into the lens here. So I was hoping to not have to pull the lens out, because it is sealed in there, but looks like I don't have a choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and see about getting the lens out, and I'll come back with an update after I get that out. Okay, so I got the lens out. There's an arrow here, and I simply just slightly pulled on the gasket with that arrow, and it popped right out. And so the lens is out, and now you can see the wiring is here, and it is soldered. So I'm going to unsolder that, and then I'll order me a $39 transformer. Hopefully this fixes this $800 light. Okay, I owe you guys an update. So soldering this thing is a real PETA. Terrible. But I did have an LED that exploded here, so the whole LED board is bad. So I had to have transformer and a new LED board, which obviously the LED board has to come from the supplier, and they have to order that, and we'll see, a couple $100. And the other thing, when I talked to Scott and Underwater Lights, super helpful. The fee they charge to actually work on these things is pretty reasonable. So again, if it's just a transformer issue and you want to fix that yourself, sure, you could splice the wires here and do that. I would not encourage you to take this front panel off and mess with this solder joint. I don't know what kind of solder they used on that, but man, it took me forever to melt the solder with my gun, and getting the new ones back on to even try was horrible. So again, even Scott said, yeah, it takes special tools to actually to mess with this stuff. So anyway, that's my update. You know how to take it apart now based off the video, but again, do what you will. Probably worth just taking it back if you can. Like I say, transformer would be easy to replace if you splice the wires, but I wouldn't recommend messing with a solder joint or even taking that whole glass panel off. So hope you guys don't have any issues like I did, but like I say, hope to get this one repaired and back up and going.